And thanks for joining us here at 10 Tampa Bay for our continuing coverage of the devastation caused by Hurricane Ian. I'm Dave Wagner. We do have a team coverage this evening of the latest search and rescue recovery efforts and flooding of area rivers. But first, we want to get to a news alert out of St. Pete this evening. A teenager is dead, 2 others seriously hurt after stealing a Maserati. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office says the teenager sped away and then crashed. 10 Tampa Bay's Miguel Octavio shows us how it started and how it ended.
Sheriff Bob Gualtieri says the 3 teenagers sped away after they were caught stealing that Maserati. We're told the driver lost control after driving over a curb, hitting the sign of a business, and eventually flipping over on the 1000 block of 62nd Avenue North. This is nearby Sawgrass Lake Park. We're told none of the teens had a driver's license. This is the picture of the Maserati they're accused of stealing. It's almost unrecognizable. We're told the car was unlocked with the keys inside. The sheriff says they first responded to an unrelated robbery nearby using a helicopter, but the chopper caught the 3 boys. Deputies on the ground tried to stop them, but they say the teens sped away. However, deputies say they chose not to chase them.
This is what happens when you're an inexperienced driver. You're at 3:30 in the morning driving 80 miles an hour and you lose it. And unfortunately, one has lost his life. The other one looks like he's going to lose his life. And the other one has some pretty serious injuries.
Authorities say a 15-year-old died when they got there, and another 15-year-old is the accused driver and has critical injuries. But we're also told another accused teenager, a 16-year-old, may not survive, according to the sheriff. Deputies are still investigating, but the sheriff says these thefts by minors is a challenge they come across all the time. In St. Petersburg, Miguel Octavio, 10 Tampa Bay.
The sheriff says this is all caught on video. They do expect to release that video early this week. Turning now to the devastation left behind by Hurricane Ian. Tonight, people in some of the hardest hit areas, including Fort Myers and Sanibel, are suffering through very tough conditions. The state confirming 44 deaths related to Hurricane Ian, and rescue missions are still underway. In the Hidden River community of Sarasota County, a compromised levee caused flooding from the Mayaca River, and 10 Tampa Bay's Brittany Moncrief was there as residents banded together to clean up.
Hurricane Ian has passed and its effects range strong. Fortunately, not stronger than the heart of this Sarasota County community. When all is lost,
my house is now the Mayaca River.
Faith and hope still stands.
Our prayer was, Lord, protect the people wherever it lands.
With prayers answered in this Hidden River community, Hurricane Ian left more than many expected.
Saturday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning, I heard the sound of the water coming through my bedroom door.
Susan Casilla lives near the Mayaca River in Sarasota County.
I called my one neighbor. I said, Wally, the water's coming. And then I called 911. And it took an hour and a half to come get me. I had to climb up the golf cart. And I watched the water just rise and rise and rise.
With help from family and friends, Susan got to safety along with her horses and 8 of her 9 dogs.
So there were snakes and things coming over my feet. I had no shoes. But it's the emotional part of going through.
And going through is just what this community is doing together.
This is the worst hurricane I've ever been through.
Reverend Rocky Walker leads Old Mayaca United Methodist Church.
We have another church down the street, and we've been in communication with them, and so we're actually joining together in a joint worship service this morning under the trees outside.
Ian caused a large branch to fall on the church, knocking it slightly off its foundation, but not its purpose.
We don't sit back. We pick up the gauntlet and go with it.
Serving a shelter for residents and a meeting place for hope.
What it says is we're fulfilling our mission.
He opened up the thrift store so I can pick out a pair of boots. I don't care that I lost everything. It doesn't matter. I mean, I have my life. Everybody's alive, and I'm grateful for that.
In Sarasota County, Brittany Moncrief, 10 Tampa Bay.
A lot of people have been through a lot around here, and as cleanup efforts are underway, we're hearing from more people who lived through the storm. 10 Tampa Bay, Shannon Clough is in Sarasota County.
Well, throughout Sarasota County, we are seeing trees down. There's really no shortage of them. And right now we're near the Hidden River community. And let me just tell you, people here, they are working together and they're getting branches just like that off the roads. They tell me this is really teamwork, and it's truly amazing to see this community just come together.
For us, it all kind of started Tuesday.
That's when Mike Bailey, who lives in the Hidden River community in Sarasota County, heard the wind.
It was rough. It was high winds, lots of rain. Did I mention lots of rain?
As Hurricane Ian moved through southwest Florida, conditions became more serious.
And then as the day moved on, we were much into the 60 to 90 mile an hour range.
That's when Mike and his wife realized they needed to get to a safer place. Some living nearby told me they evacuated.
It was pretty concerning, significant amount of fear. We're fortunate to have a hurricane bunker in our house.
For hours, Mike and his wife were underground as the storm roared through parts of Sarasota County.
And we spent 3 hours, doing a lot of hoping and praying.
Those prayers came true when Mike and his wife made it out of their bunker safe. Immediately, his community came together to start cleaning up.
Getting trees out of the way, opening roads, making room for emergency services.
Take a look at this. We got to ride along and see parts of the roads completely flooded due to the dike breaking, a warning that came from officials before the hurricane.
Seek higher ground, seek shelter. The levee is very likely to break, and seek refuge somewhere else.
What looks like a river is a road. You can see the lines on the street below feet of water. Some houses are in these flooded areas, which is why once again the community came together, rescuing horses that were left behind.
Going around the area here out in Hidden River in the East County is a bunch of good country folk coming together and doing what needs to be done.
We know so many of you at home are dealing with this. No power, flooding, trees down. While being patient is really key, this community says come together, help each other out, because that's what's getting them through this. I'm in Sarasota County. Shannon Clough, 10 Tampa Bay.
And 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Tyler Moore is keeping an eye on the rivers right now. Tyler, fortunately, those river levels are coming down.
Yeah, we can show you that right here. A lot of the local rivers starting to come down off of their crest. That happened mainly Saturday afternoon and evening. This is looking at the Peace River in Arcadia. You can see it crested Saturday during the midday hours and has been slowly receding. See this line right here, this black line, that's the old record. So we're still a couple feet above the old record, and all of this is still above major flood stage. That's normally at 16 feet. It's still at 22.4 feet is that level right now. So still doing some major flooding on these rivers, but thankfully, again, it's slowly receding. Rain chances are very minimal for the next couple of days. That's also going to help things out. Just a small chance for an isolated rain shower. That'll mainly be inland Tuesday afternoon. Otherwise, things are looking mainly dry and sunny for tonight. We're going to see mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 60s for lows. So another comfortable night heading our way. And then here's that forecast for tomorrow. Another beautiful day. Lots of sunshine during the morning hours, 60s and 70s, middle 80s, just a few fair weather afternoon clouds.
All right, Tyler showed you the Peace River there in Hillsborough County. The Alafaya River water levels are starting to recede. But as 10 Tampa Bay's Chris Rogers shows us now, some people who live nearby are still surrounded by water.
Very relieved, very, very relieved.
Melanie Hood lives along the Alafaya River in Lithia. She's counting her blessings that her house didn't get damaged.
Irma, a tree fell into our roof, and this time no trees fell on us or anything, so a lot better this time.
But just down the road, her neighbors are still swamped.
I think I'm the only one staying back here, though. I think my other neighbors are like, eh.
And as life starts getting back to normal, they're having to find ways to make it work.
They canoe up here and get in the car and go to work.
Once the river crests, the water levels start to go back down, which is what's happening right now. But with standing water at several feet in plenty of the areas across here, it may take days for this neighborhood to dry up completely.
Believe it or not, everybody that lives back here, we're all still blessed. It's good that no trees hit us and everything's pretty much high enough and out of the way.
For Melanie and her neighbors, they're just happy it didn't turn out worse.
Joe next door, they were worried about losing everything in their house again because they had to evacuate last time, and they had all their belongings just ruined and on the side of the road for pickup. So he was really concerned about that happening again.
Chris Rogers, 10 Tampa Bay.
On the southern tip of Pinellas County, Fort DeSoto is back open. State officials closed it before Hurricane Ian landed, and 10 Tampa Bay's Ann Spiracco is live there this evening, and a lot of people happy to be back in that beautiful park there.
Yes, the sun is shining here. The gates are back open following the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. We are just learning moments ago about half the park is still closed. That includes some of the trails, and of course the pier here still very much under construction for the next several months. But a lot of people here, they're really enjoying the dog beach that we saw earlier today. We saw runners, cyclists, and boaters out enjoying the Sunday afternoon. Dozens of people came out with their furry friends to enjoy the water. And Michael Franzik says he's getting outside today with his dog. He says he's counting his blessings after his friends in Fort Myers lost everything to Hurricane Ian.
Feels great, and I have good friends down in Fort Myers that have lost their house and are going through a tough time. So we're happy to be here, and we dodged a bullet, all of us in Pinellas County.
And as we drove here, we saw park officials had to close off the campground. They said that is where the most damage is from the wind, and they have an anticipated date of opening that back up by potentially this Wednesday. Reporting for 10 Tampa Bay, I'm Ance Baracco.
And thanks. As you prepare to head back to work tomorrow, we want to give you a heads up about your commute. Tolls on the Selman Expressway will still be suspended. Governor DeSantis suspended toll payments on local roads ahead of Hurricane Ian. The reversible express lanes on the Selman will resume normal operating hours starting at 6 a.m. Now, several Bay Area schools worked through the weekend to clean up damage from Hurricane Ian. Right now, we can tell you when some of those schools will reopen. Sarasota and Hardee County schools plan to remain closed until further notice. Sarasota says they're working to fix structural damage, down power lines, flooding, as well as water and plumbing issues. Manatee County schools will also remain closed tomorrow as they work to fix damage and restore power to some schools. Polk County schools are also working to restore power to more than 70 buildings. They plan to have students back in class on Tuesday, with all staff returning to work tomorrow to get classrooms ready. Now in Hillsborough County, the district plans to resume classes tomorrow. Same plan in Pinellas, Pasco, Citrus, and Hernando County schools. In St. Pete, Mayor Ken Welch extended the city's local state of emergency. As the city begins to recover from Ian, tomorrow they will open debris collection sites. And 10 Tampa Bay's Carla Bayron shares what you can do and what you can't.
So this is one of 5 locations, drop-off locations, where you can drop off recyclables, yard waste, or organic byproducts for free. Here are the 5 locations on your screen. All 5 locations open on Friday and have extended hours of 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. through Sunday, October 8th. And as far as removal goes, place whatever debris is able to fit into the city garbage container before placing containers out for pickup. Top them off with any small branches or other yard debris. As a last resort, pile debris on the curb and request a special pickup. Brush from the storm should be cut up in lengths of 4 feet or fewer and placed between the sidewalk and the curb. Separate vegetation from other storm-related debris such as broken outdoor furniture, construction, or demolition materials. And lastly, don't forget to not stack debris in rear alleys or sidewalks, and also don't place them near trees or any poles. Reporting live in North St. Pete, Carla Byron, 10 Tampa Bay.
Well, tens of thousands of customers are still without power in our area. Duke Energy is reporting nearly 59,000 without power. TECO says nearly 16,000 customers remain in the dark, but hope to restore the majority of customers by tonight. Now, some of the areas with more damage will likely have power back on by tomorrow night. In the hardest hit areas, Florida Power and Light are working around the clock to restore electricity to those who've been in the dark for days. FPL is working in Fort Myers today. As of this morning, 1.6 million customers, that's about 75% of the customers impacted by Hurricane Ian, have had power restored. Right now, 21,000 men and women from across the country from 30 different states are in the Southwest Florida assisting with the restoration efforts. For those still waiting, crews remind you that safety is the #1 priority.
There are a lot of conditions in the communities where you have debris, that you have some flooded areas. Please make sure that you're not venturing into a flooded area. If you're driving around and you encounter a flooded area, make sure that you stay away from it.
Florida Power and Light hopes to have the majority of power restored by next Sunday, October 9th. And while crews do that, CBS's Chris Hoffman shares the rescues happening across the Gulf Coast. Crews there are looking for people who decided to ride out Hurricane Ian.
Anyone home? Search and rescue! Calls for help are being answered on Florida's Sanibel Island.
Your son sent us. We're a rescue organization.
Rescue crews are going door to door, finding people like Betty Reynolds, who's lived here for 47 years and has seen her fair share of hurricanes.
I didn't stay for Charlie or Irma, and I had no damage. And I just didn't believe that there'd be storm surge.
Just north of Sanibel, the Coast Guard is leading a mass rescue on Pine Island, Florida's largest barrier island. Its bridge to the mainland destroyed.
I should have left. I shouldn't have stayed. We watched boats, houses, we watched everything just go flying by. We've lost so much at this point.
Federal officials say more than 1,000 people have been rescued from flooded areas along Florida's southwestern coast. 5,400 National Guard members are supporting relief effort, including clearing the roads in Fort Myers Beach. The mayor of Fort Myers defended the timing of the mandatory evacuation orders given by Lee County officials a day later than other counties in the area.
Warnings for hurricane season start in June. And so there's a degree of personal responsibility here. The thing is that a certain percentage of people will not heed the warnings regardless.
I'm here on the mainland in Northport, Florida, more than 25 miles from where Hurricane Ian came ashore on Wednesday, and people are still being evacuated from flooded communities. Kevin and Laura Leaf got a boat ride to dry land from a stranger.
Our house is surrounded by water. Andrew with those codes, you know.
Well, President Biden plans to visit Florida on Wednesday following a trip on Monday to Puerto Rico, recently ravaged by Hurricane Fiona. You know, so many Floridians lost everything in Ian and are forced now to start from scratch. The good news here, there are so many folks stepping up to help. And 10 Tampa Bay's Sydney Persing reports tonight from Sarasota.
At Grace Community Church off Bee Ridge Road Sunday, a bunch of people with a bunch of boxes and bags drove up to drop off anything that might help their neighbors who lost everything.
It just looked like a bomb went off. And so I feel terrible for the people.
People lost a lot. They need a lot. Water, toys, t-shirts, paper towels, pillows, Pampers, teddy bears, toiletries. It all came to Grace Church Sunday from helpers old and young.
I donated some of my clothing and some of my toys.
These used to be my pillows and this used to be my blanket.
It made me feel devastated for all the people that lost their homes and lost their family members.
There are people that need these and they should really have them.
The church is one of several drop-off sites for the Sarasota School District's donation drive. So this act of service, it wasn't a church service. Even still, prayers proved just as plentiful as donations.
My prayer is that people, don't lose faith, don't get discouraged.
I pray that they'll be able to find and rescue everyone.
Our prayer and our hope for them is that they, understand that other people are doing everything they can to pray for them and help them.
There's no doubt. In Sarasota, I'm Sydney Persing.
Several of the folks who donated today have been affected by hurricanes in the past. One family Sydney met who dropped off bedding said their daughter's home was destroyed in Charley. You know, there's a wide range of damage from Ian across the state of Florida, whether you had trees fall on your property, roof damage, or water flooding your home or car. You should touch base with your insurance company. If you are filing a property insurance claim, there's likely a separate hurricane deductible for your out-of-pocket expenses. Florida is one of 19 states with this deductible during a named storm. It can vary from 1% to 5% of your coverage limit. For example, if your home is insured for $200,000 and you have a 2% hurricane deductible, you would have to cover $4,000 in repairs if your place was a total loss. Now, Insurance Information Institute spokesman Mark Friedlander says insurance adjusters are already out in the hardest hit areas trying to help customers with recovery. And even though there has been turmoil in the state insurance market, he shared this insight about the backstops to help make sure your claim is covered.
One is the Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund. That is for claims that cannot be paid by your insurer because they don't have enough reserves. Say they didn't have enough reserves to pay all the claims they're getting. The catastrophe fund kicks in. But if your company goes insolvent, then it moves over to what's called the Florida Insurance Guarantee Association. That is established to pay claims for companies that are declared insolvent and liquidated. So either way, your claim is paid, regardless of the financial health of your company.
If your home was damaged from rising waters, that falls under your flood insurance policy. If you don't have that coverage, you can apply for a FEMA grant. Also keep in mind, if anything happens to your car, whether it's flooding or a tree that fell on it, you can claim that on your comprehensive car insurance. And as we show you the damage left behind by Ian all week on air and online, 10 Investigates' Jennifer Titus tells you how to protect yourself when it comes to hiring a contractor.
After a major storm may come some major repairs. Down trees, your roof is damaged. Oh, no worries. That knock on your door is just a contractor looking to help. Wrong. Many times those knocks are out-of-state storm chasers looking to take advantage of you. I'm 10 Investigates' Jennifer Titus with some hurricane hacks to keep you and your money safe while getting that storm mess cleaned up or your house repaired. First off, take photos and videos of the damage. Then contact your insurance adjuster immediately and make sure any contractor you are considering hiring are properly licensed and insured. If they are pushy, aggressive, that's a major red flag. They're offering you a discount if you act now. They're doing door-to-door solicitation. They're pressuring you to make an immediate decision. Red flags, red flags, red flags. Shut the door. Look, get at least 3 quotes if possible. Check out the company's reviews. And when you do decide on contractor, do not, I repeat, do not pay 100% up front. And if you can, make those payments by check or credit card for added protection.
We have been through some very rough weather around here, but after all that, we are in for sort of a beautiful stretch, at least for a week or so.
Yeah, a great stretch of weather heading our way. Exactly what we need across the area. Some dry weather and some lower humidity too, with plenty of sunshine heading our way. Beautiful day today. Look at the temperature right now in Tampa. Pretty much perfect. 80 degrees, a nice breeze out of the northwest, right around 10 miles per hour. And look right now at the dew point. In the middle 50s. That is some very comfortable, much drier air than what we've experienced all summer long. And actually temperatures below average for today, and really the last couple of days, it's going to continue too throughout the week. Our average high is still 89 degrees. Our average low is 73. Look at what we did for the day. Low temperatures were in the 60s, high temperatures in the middle 80s. Beautiful day. Same weather pattern on repeat for the next couple of days as we head into the new work and school week. Temperatures out there right now starting to see some 70s pop up. We're at 80 in Tampa and in St. Petersburg, also 80 in Sarasota, 76 right now in Newport Richey, and 79 in Wesley Chapel. So temperatures looking very comfortable for this evening. And one of the reasons why it feels so great outside is this, the dew points in the middle 50s. We just talked about that, but all summer long we've seen dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Just doesn't feel great when you step outside. Now we're in the 50s. That is a very pleasant air mass, and really we're going to be in the upper 50s, lower 60s for those dew points, and that's going to be a great time. Open up those windows, let some fresh air into the house during the morning hours as temperatures start off in the 70s and 60s. Out there right now we have mostly clear skies. That's going to hold same for the overnight hours tonight. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to see temperatures in the 60s once again, even some lower 60s as you head inland away from the water. If you live closer towards the coast, it's going to be more of the middle to upper 60s, but still very comfortable as you step outside. Plenty of sunshine. Now, during the afternoon hours, it does look like we are going to mix in a couple afternoon clouds. We'll go from sunny skies during the morning hours to a little bit more partly cloudy later in the day. But the air is so dry that we're going to be seeing very little in terms of rain chances for tomorrow. And really over the next couple of days, there's going to be a weak front that tries to push through on Tuesday, so maybe a 10% chance for an isolated rain shower. But really, behind that front, there's just another reinforcing shot of some drier air. So that's going to be the pattern as the winds stay out of the north and out of the northwest. Is going to push in that drier air throughout the entire atmosphere. So all the way down from the surface where we live, all the way up to where a lot of those clouds build. We're going to keep things on the drier side, and that means very little in terms of rain chances. In fact, here's the next 5 days. 0 for tomorrow. There's that 10% chance for Tuesday, and then we're back to 0 Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. So a nice dry stretch of weather. We are going to dry things out very nicely and allow those river levels to come back down too. 2 areas we are tracking in the tropics right now. They're only disturbances. We do have one Invest 91L has a 30% chance of development. We'll watch this one a little bit closer as it is expected to enter into the Caribbean. But really a lot of the models just continue to take this down to the south towards parts of Central America. So not too concerned about these. Then we have a 70% chance of development with this disturbance. That one's just going to head off to the north and stay out over the Atlantic. So we'll watch this Invest carefully over the next couple of days. But right now it does not look like it is going to be a big deal anywhere in the tropics. But we are still in hurricane season. Still have 2 months left to go as we work our way throughout October and then through November. The end of November is officially the end. But as we progress over the next couple of weeks, you can see the trend there in activity normally starts to decrease pretty quickly throughout October and into November. November. So for tonight, again, another beautiful night. Temperatures in the 60s, mostly clear skies, and a light breeze out of the northwest will continue as we work our way throughout Monday. Same thing. We're going to see plenty of sunshine during the morning hours. Temperatures in the low to middle 80s, and there's a couple of those afternoon clouds that will mix in throughout the second half of the day. Marine forecast is also looking good. West to northwest winds, seas around 2 feet, and a light chop out there in the bay. Water temperatures have come down. They are now in the 70s, so you're going to notice a little bit cooler as you step into the water the next couple of days. It will warm back up a little bit as we head throughout the week with all the sunshine. Temperatures, though, looking very good in the 80s.
Certainly hope that Ian is the last hurricane of the season. All right, thanks. Well, a lot of people are stepping up to help in the wake of Ian. Tom Brady and the Glazer family donated money toward hurricane relief efforts. The NFL Foundation matched the Glazers' $1 million donation. The NFL also released these Florida Strong T-shirts. They are available for purchase online. Funds will be donated to Hurricane Ian relief efforts ahead of the big Sunday night game tonight between the Bucs and the Chiefs. The NFL announced they will be auctioning a limited number of game-worn jerseys. Fans can bid on NFL.com/auction. All those funds will go to support the American Red Cross Hurricane Ian relief efforts. Well, getting food to people in hard-hit areas is a priority right now. Here in Tampa Bay, a local charity is teaming up with a national group to get that job done. As 10 Tampa Bay's Catherine Burr shows us now, World Central Kitchen, a group that heads to disaster zones around the world, is now in Tampa cooking up a storm for Ian survivors.
Call it food on the move. When your ingredients come in by loaded semi-trucks, you're talking colossal cooking. A disaster response team from World Central Kitchen has set up shop at Metropolitan Ministries in Tampa.
Once that gets heated up, then we have the rice.
They're preparing both hot and cold meals for survivors of Hurricane Ian. It's what WCK does around the globe when things go bad.
Being able to show up with a hot, comforting, nourishing plate of food, is our way to show that we're thinking of you and we care about you, and we want to do what we can to get you through this difficult time.
Metro's kitchen was designed for just this task. It's well above sea level and can be powered by generator.
So it's really important that we all do our part. There's so much hurt out there in the community. We've seen the devastation. And the only way this happens where people can make a difference is when we all work together.
Hundreds of volunteers also make up this mission of mercy. Their name tags all say hope. And that's exactly what goes between each slice of bread.
I'm making all these sandwiches with love. So I think, hope and love, that's all we can do.
Each one of these hot boxes contains 110 meals. They will be heading south from here all day long to places most in need, like Fort Myers, Port Charlotte. And by the end of the day, some 30,000 people in need will be fed. It's good cooking for good. In Tampa, Catherine Burr, 10 Tampa Bay.
They really do remarkable work, and we thank them for that. While local people in need of food can still get that at Metropolitan Ministries, most of the prepared meals are being trucked south to the hardest hit areas. This effort is going to be needed for weeks. If you'd like to help, either by donating your money or your time, you can go to metromin.org or wck.org for more information. We hope you can help. As recovery efforts continue, we are here to help as well. You can text the word HOME to the number on your screen, 727-577-8522, for openings, resources, power outages, and other crucial information about recovery efforts. We appreciate you joining us online this evening. We have the very latest on the aftermath of Hurricane Ian tonight on air and on 10.